Okay, the structure faces south. Exterior temperature is about 95. Exterior humidity is about 75. The sky is bright with scattered clouds. So this is the front of the house. This is where we're at right now. And what I'm trying to call your attention to at this point, right now, is you have the shingles and then you have the fascia. And between there's this little metal strip. Okay, that's edge flashing. In this case, it's the rake edge flashing. Sometimes it's the drip edge flashing. But this flashing right here, you see where it laps? I'm trying to show you where it laps. I'll find another spot someplace else. But according to the manufacturer, those laps are supposed to be a minimum of 10 inches, never less than 10 inches. Now, the statistical relevance of that, or are you going to experience a problem from that? I just don't know. Probably not. Will the claim be denied because of that? Probably not. Is it right? No, it's not right. It's not what the manufacturer specifies. When we come on along here, this is the front portico. All these walls, any luminary, yeah, it's a gas one, but any luminary, the sconces, they're supposed to be sealed. They're supposed to be sealed where they're attached to the wall right there. I'm going to move on out here. Now, I'm going to call your attention to the rain gutters. This rain gutter up here next to the wall, it should have kick-out flashing. It should have kick-out flashing, so it diverts the water back into the rain gutter. There's a little diverter up there, but it's not kick-out flashing, and it doesn't work. You can see that it's clogged. Now, see the distance between that rain gutter's butt end and the distance between the one below it, that butt end? You're supposed to have about 2 inches of clearance between the butt ends of your rain gutter and the exterior brickwork, walls, any walls for that matter, and that rain gutter is too close to the wall. All this wood mulch in the flower bed underneath the drip edge, that's considered conducive to wood destroying insects like termites. Out here, here's the water meter, here's the check valve, backflow prevention for the lawn sprinkler system. So this is the water meter right here. This is your dial, and that little dial inside, that little sprocket looking thing. Some people call them the cheater wheel or cheater paddle, but it's your flow indicator. If that's moving, water is moving into the house. You got a fresh water supply leak, something's on, dishwasher's on, lawn sprinkler system's leaking, toilet flapper, leak inside the slab. You don't know what it is, but if that little sprocket there is moving, you should try to determine where you're losing your water. Over here, this is the lawn sprinkler check valve. This is supposed to be serviced about once a year. Nobody does it. I get that. I don't do it. But they're supposed to be. That's what's supposed to happen. These handles are rusty. They're going to break off in your hand if you try to turn them. I've got some experience there. Alright? And then this box should be excavated so that you got 3 inches underneath it so you can wrap your hand around and service that valve. And then the bottom of the box should be lined with gravel so that the dirt doesn't migrate in like it has, so the dirt doesn't come back and fill the box back up. I'll come back and stomp on that some more. Moving along here. Lawn sprinkler heads, they're not supposed to be any closer to a structure than 12 inches. They're not supposed to be there. But now we have weep holes. Those are good things. Homeownership 101, all roofs leak, all walls leak. We design them to shed water faster than they accept it. Sometimes it's just vapor, you'll never see it, but I've seen water come out of them before too. Those are called weep holes. You're supposed to have them. Those are good things to have. You're supposed to have them over your fenestrations. That's French for hole in your wall. I mean windows and doors. So we don't have any, not seeing any weep holes over our fenestrations. We got a nice sizable vertical crack. This is the front sitting room. And between the brick and mortar right there. Your bushes shouldn't be touching the house. Coming along here. Okay, we've got like 90 psi. Too much water pressure to the house. Too much water. You say you can't get enough pressure, you can get too much pressure. It's going to put stress on your plumbing, on your pipes, that kind of thing. And then things are going to wear out faster, like fill valves for your commodes. Some people call them ball cocks. This is your double clean out. Here's your clean outs for your sewer system right there. Rain gutters are not supposed to discharge so close to the house. They're supposed to take water several feet away from the home. So all these rain gutters, most of these rain gutters are above grade that I've seen so far, and so far they're all too close to the house. All these bushes are conducive to, wood destroying insects, which includes carpenter ants and then termites. They like to hide. They're blind. They like to hide. Getting trees too close. Rain gutter is full of debris. Rain gutters are full of leaves and debris. And all these trees should be cut back and off of your roof. We've got 2 condensing units over here. We're moving along. House faces south, so this is the east side. We're moving along. These 2 condensing units, this one's labeled for the front. So I'm guessing this is downstairs, front of the house. I'm guessing this is towards the master bedroom suite area. So both of these units are R22. All 3 of the units, for that matter, are R22. It's no longer manufactured in the United States. It's no longer imported to the United States. It's very expensive. These systems are old. They're like tin sear. They're very inefficient. You got expensive refrigerant. You can put drop-ins in. The drop-ins are between 15 and 30% less efficient than these inefficient units already. So just everything is pointing towards replacement. Just about any technician that comes out here is going to rightfully recommend that you update the systems. And that includes the evaporator coils inside. So you might as well go with a whole HVAC system replacement. Now I can't condemn them if they're working. We don't know that yet. They feel warm. If they're working, then it is what it is. And it is what it is they're so old. By today's standards, you have Schrader valve caps. By today's standards, you'd have a better insulator on this. And in fact, we're missing this insulation because those are inferior insulators. Home built this morning, which it wasn't. We get that. We know it's not a new home. We know that. But if it were built this morning, there would be an electric service receptacle outlet out here so the technician can plug in. He doesn't have to run extension cords out your front door and stuff like that. All this shrubbery needs to be cut back away from the home. These are your electric service disconnects. I got the dead front covers off of them so we can take a nice good look at them. I'll put those back on. Moving along over here, what we've got is this piping. That's for your water heater. That's probably for the water heater that's in the attic above the master. And they're not supposed to discharge any higher than, what is it, 6 inches? They're not supposed to any higher than 6 inches from the ground. 1.5 feet, that's just way too tall, way too high. So, moving on along, we got some separation in this wall between this window. This is the master bedroom suite on the east wall, but we got and it's been caulked a little bit. You can see where it's been caulked up there too. We've definitely experienced some movement here, and they're right there by the soldier bricks. The soldier bricks, they're standing up so they can march, and the sailor bricks, they float across the ocean. But we got a little bit of mortar cracking right there. And these soffits, you got real narrow soffits, and just narrow soffit vents. And it was hot into the attic. We'll talk about the attic when we get there. But this attic does not seem to be very well ventilated. What we have right here, this little pipe coming out of the soffit right there, That's your emergency secondary drain line for your air conditioning system. They put them over the windows on purpose. And so what happens is when this thing's dripping, you know that you got an air conditioning problem. That's your warning indicator. And again, we do not have weep holes over the windows. That's a good example right there. These patio posts, they have these skirts around them, baseboards if you will. Saved by the bell. And so I can't see underneath them. I cannot determine. Good home, this is Bud. Yes, sir. Excellent. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna be here for a while, man. This is a lot of house. Thanks. Thank you, Derek. That was Derek. He's the listing agent, and he's gonna move a car for us, or he's gonna try. So these posts should have stands beneath them, and to raise them up off the cement so that water doesn't wick up off of the patio into the wood and rot it. We just don't know if that's got it there. Now over here, we're going to kind of combine some roof observations. It's I don't have that much mountain goat in me. I'm sorry. I know everybody wants to see it, but this flashing right here, it should be nice and flat. It's step flashing, I get that, and the water runs off of it, cascades off of it, I get that too. But it's supposed to be nice and flat and sealed. So when the roof was replaced, they just didn't get it back right. Now this is by design. This is a masonry chimney with a chimney cap. This is by design. I don't know how we're going to fix this, but this chimney is precariously close to the valley, and a lot of water is going to run off of this valley. You can see that. And then it just gets funneled right in there, kind of creating a dead valley. And then, of course, you got the actual where the two different planes, intersect. You've got a lot of business going on in that corner, and that's where the devil hides, is in those details. So that could have been could have been better thought out and or executed. So moving along. Exterior receptacle outlets. What we got here, it says GFCI on it. Let's try that. But this is covered, so maybe this is acceptable. I'm going to say that it doesn't have an in-use cover. An in-use cover is you could plug something in and it would stay, and you could close the cover over it. And some people call them bubble covers. But let's see what we got here. GFC, I tripped it all right. There we go. Stepping up, stepping on along, looking for things, searching. And what I haven't seen yet, I just haven't seen it. I'm gonna do a Yankee around here a little bit. That's what I do. I don't remember seeing, and I cannot find. We'll find out. I'm looking for expansion control joints, and I haven't seen any expansion control joints. And I'm not seeing any weep holes over the fenestrations. So since I tripped that one, now these steps, I'm going to need to measure these. They're not supposed to be higher than 7 3/4 inches. Don't jump to a conclusion yet. This is like my first. Actually, my second pass around here. This lock is difficult to operate. And that's me. This lock is difficult to operate from the inside, by the way. And we got some weather stripping that's kind of torn right there. So you can see that grease mark because the dog's been going through here. The dog's been going through here. And this very, very heavily perfumed when I got here, by the way. This is a little bit of cracking right there. Moving along, wood mulch. We get that. Oh. The same behind us. I'm running away from it, but this is a better example. See the rain gutter? See that hole in the rain gutter? It drains water onto the roof covering. Drains water onto the roof covering. It's not supposed to do that. The water goes from here to there, and it's just going to wear those shingles out. You should have a rain gutter that comes down into the other gutter. It looks horrible when they do that. It doesn't look horrible, but I can understand why someone would find that more aesthetically appealing. This is the other water heater. I'm guessing that it doesn't have a safety pin, but that's between 6 inches. That's about 6 inches right there. Can't complain about him. Wood mulch. This windowsill right here, this is for the garage. This windowsill, see how nice and level that is? It's not supposed to be nice and level. It's supposed to be tilted towards the ground for positive drainage because all walls leak. So these bricks, see these over here? It's not a lot, but they're tilted. They're tilted. You go over there and that guy's just as flat as a pool table. Fences next to the house, that's conducive by design. People like fences, people like plumbing. Okay, I can tell by the threads our siphon device, our anti-siphon device is missing from there. And now we don't have one, and I believe you're going to find that a conventional water hose will not thread to that. Until you get that anti-siphon device, then you're not going to be able to hook anything up to that. You can just get a drink of water, I guess. Moving on along, this is the garage. This is the car. Oh. This is the subject of the conversation on the phone. They're going to move that. This is the main electric service panel. We're going to spend some time on that. But in the meantime, it's pretty quick. We got bundling. We got double lugging of the neutrals. The main neutral is not wrapped with white. We got white hots that are not wrapped with black tape. We got debris inside the panel box. But we got plenty of time for that. Plenty of time. We're going north. The alley's in the north back here. Alley's in the north, and we come on around, and this is the gas meter. It's nice and high and up off the ground, and this is how you turn it off. Parallel is on. Perpendicular is off. That's the only. And bonding, we'll talk about that here in just a moment. We're getting there. I'm just an anxious fellow. We're coming along here. Post-tension slab, and what's happened here is that was never sealed. It needs to be sealed, and we got a shrinkage crack in the corner, so that cable was probably too close to the edge because it's popped off. The rule is if it's in the span of a hand, I don't know whose hand, and it goes this direction, it's not a foundation issue. It might be a brick issue, but when it's cracked like that next to a tension cable, that might be more severe than we. That might be a bigger problem than we. I don't think I'm going to yes that one off. Okay, house faces south, so this is the west side of the house. The electric meter box should have been sealed to help prevent moisture infiltration into the wall. Same thing with the electric service disconnects for the air conditioning systems, by the way. And then we've had some movement. So now the electric power supply conduit, it's loose, and that's no bueno. So that needs to be fixed. The grounding rod is supposed to be buried. They're 8 feet long. Now, an electrician, he can put a multi-tester on there and determine that you have enough resistance, and that might be, that might satisfy it. But without some diagnostic analysis, the rod simply wasn't buried like it should have been. So this is where the gas, again on the west side of the house, this is where the gas enters the house, and it's nice and sealed around there. But we do not have a shutoff valve. You got to go to the meter to turn the gas off. You got to go to the meter to do that. This is the electric power supply to the control wires for the valves for the lawn sprinkler system, and the yard people come in here and mess that all up. So now water can get in there, and then your lawn sprinkler system is going to have some problems. Sprinkler head too close to the wall, not closer than 12. Trees too close. Rain gutters too close. I'm going to bring a ladder around. We're going to have some more fun today. Okay, stepping stones all over my yard. All over my yard. But Granny might have a problem with that. So maybe you shouldn't let her wander around unattended. So these are not dimensionally uniform and may be trip hazards. Fence in contact. Another 10-seer R22. Same thing. Another disconnect. All the disconnects should have been sealed. This one's unique to the other two. It's not supposed to be behind the unit. It's not supposed to be behind the unit. And then this right here, that is an old school clothes dryer vent, otherwise known as a birdhouse. Those no longer meet requirements. They should have been replaced when the roof was replaced. And that kind of tells me that they're paying attention to that lately. It tells me that this roof covering might have some age on it. If they utilize that vent cap, because it looks like they did a pretty decent job from here, from the ground. So, but that tells me that there's some age on this roof. And you got that clothes dryer vent cap like that. That's what's known as a clue. Coming along here, this is negative drainage. This is southwest corner of the house. All the water just comes down here. It just comes down here. And then you can see it's level over there, and it almost goes up. I don't know if you can see through there. So there's really no, it's almost uphill. I guess it is uphill. So there's really no place for the water to run to. It runs down here, down here, down here, down here. This is where it stays. This is your swimming pool. And we got all the debris here. We're missing another kick-out flashing. And the rain gutter is leaking onto the roof. And just because it's not touching doesn't mean that it won't touch in about a month. Anytime you have a bunch of foliage around your house, it's an ongoing maintenance thing. It's not rare. Coming along, see this rain gutter? It goes down into the rain gutter. That's what those other short little guys should have been doing. Oh, this is a good one right here. I mean, a good example. See that edge flashing? It's like an inch. There's the edge flashing right there. Get my pen out. The edge flashing right there. It's about an inch. I don't usually worry about it, to be honest. If it's 3 or 4 inches, I call it out. I do that. I'm not bashful. But that's kind of concerning. A little bit of high soil right here. There's a couple places around the house that we can find some high soil. Moving on along. This is just about where we started. Okay, doorbells. Not even required to inspect them. I do, but this is communication systems are beyond the scope of the inspection, and it's probably never. I hear it. Probably never was illuminated, but this should be illuminated.